Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending of course on what part of the world you happen to be in right now. Here in Japan it is actually evening, quite late in the evening in fact. I'm Julian and this is Doing English. Today I'm going to discuss another one of your questions. Today's question is how to learn to understand many different English accents. So first of all, I think this is actually quite an important thing to consider and to do really, because English is kind of a world language now. It's used all over the world, and just learning the British accent or just learning the American accent or even an Australian accent or a Canadian accent just isn't really good enough anymore, I don't think, because let's face it, you're not going to be using English only with American people or only with British people, or at least probably not. I guess it depends on your situation a little bit. So I think as much as you can, it is definitely worth exposing yourself to as many different kinds of English accent and English culture as possible. And when I say that, I don't just mean kind of the native English-speaking countries, although it's very fuzzy as to what is a native English-speaking country now. But I also mean countries where English is very, very widely spoken. I guess, for example, India and Singapore, the Philippines. There's a lot of countries where English is so widely spoken that, people, for another example I guess is Malaysia. Many Japanese people go to Malaysia to learn English because it's so close to here and it's such a convenient place to go. But yeah, back to the question. How to get used to understanding these accents? The answer is quite simple, but it's not something which is easy, I don't think. It's simply a case of exposing yourself to it. This isn't just for English learners, but for native speakers as well. I come from the south of England, down in the southwest. I find people up in Scotland quite hard to understand. Well, not people from Edinburgh. The Edinburgh accent is fine for me, but for example Glasgow, I really don't understand what people from Glasgow are saying a lot of the times. And very strong English accents, I guess, I'm trying to think, maybe very Southern American accents, or maybe it's not so bad, but they're not as easy for me to understand as kind of the southwest of England or even the southeast of England. But the way to get good at understanding them is simply exposure. It really, really is a case of the more you hear it, the more you get used to it, the easier it becomes. There just is no other way. And of course you can do that by having conversations and getting involved with people who speak in those accents or come from those areas with strong accents. Or you can do it just by watching more stuff on YouTube and listening to more people and more different kinds of accents. It really is as simple as that. There's nothing else to say, to be honest. It's a case of just exposing yourself as much as you can and getting used to it. That is it for today's lesson. As always, if you have a question of your own, something you would like me to discuss in a future English lesson, just go down below this video and leave me a comment in the comments box. And whilst you're there, don't forget, if you liked this video, please click the like button and also share this video with your friends on Facebook and Twitter and, well, whatever else. That's it for today's lesson. I will see you in the next one. By the way, since in today's lesson we're talking about different accents and getting used to different accents, I just wanted to point out that my British Stories course actually has a whole lesson about accents in the UK. And in that lesson the story discusses different accents all over the UK. Which accents are hard to understand, which are easy, and I'm not going to give it away now because you'll have to check the lesson in British Stories, and the accent which is supposedly the best accent for English learners. So if you're interested in British Stories, there are two ways that you can find out about that. The first is to go down below this video and join the Doing English daily newsletter. The second is to go down below this video and click on the link to the British Stories sales page. British Stories is not a free course, it's a one-time payment, but it's not free. But if you are interested, then yeah, check the link below this video and take a look.